NBC News, ABC News, and CNN have all called Pennsylvania for Donald Trump. This election is over. Donald Trump is going to be the 47th president of the United States, and he has won re-election. So buckle up, brace for impact. We're going to have 4 years of anarchy and chaos. My prediction, which is not a bold one, is they're going to rob the place blind. All of his donors are going to get everything they wanted. There's going to be almost no checks on him. Last time the establishment checked him, I'm not a big fan of the establishment, but they put some brakes in the car for Donald Trump, and he's a guy who needed brakes. Now there will be no brakes in the car. Steve Bannon's back. All of the ghouls and goblins of the first administration that stayed through all of his corrupt and ridiculous demands are back. None of the people who had any sanity are back. And their first priority is going to be take. Last time Donald Trump drove up the debt by 40%, he added $8.4 trillion to the debt because he doesn't care. He's going to give away a couple more $1 trillion in corporate tax cuts. Every donor is going to get more goodies than you could possibly imagine. They'll break so many things in this country. There is no upside to that. It's a disaster. But I cannot imagine a scenario where Donald Trump does a good job and a Republican gets elected in 2028. My guess is that, someone that opposes him, the Democratic Party is so broken, I even hesitate in saying a Democrat will win. Someone will beat the Republicans in 2028 because of how badly Donald Trump is going to break this country.
As you just saw in that clip from Cenk Uygur and the Young Turks, Donald Trump is unfortunately going to become the next president of the United States. This means Project 2025 is going to become a reality, and our lives are going to become much worse than they are now. To say that I'm disappointed in my fellow Americans would be a profound understatement. And I'm not the only one who shares that feeling, to put it nicely. I'll be getting into some of the responses that I have seen in a moment. But others have been reacting similar to this clip of Moxie from the latest Hell of a Boss episode, Ghost Fuckers. We're fucked! We are indeed fucked.
You all better repent!
Now, I want to start by looking at this clip from MSNBC. Let's go to that.
I just say to Donald Trump and the people around him, good luck having Bobby Kennedy as your HHS secretary, an anti-vaxxer running the country 3 years after a deadly pandemic that created mass death that you, Donald Trump, grossly mismanaged. Good luck doubling down on fossil fuels and a fossil fuel economy at the precise moment that the Earth is heating up to historic proportions and monster storms supercharged by climate change are laying waste to red states. Side note, Democrats cannot control the weather. And good luck to you, sir, with your sales tax that's going to raise taxes, a tariff that's going to raise taxes on middle and working class income Americans. Good luck to you with all of it. It feels like the dog that caught the car.
And in all honesty, she's 100% right. The tariffs that are supposedly going to be the backbone of economic growth are actually going to fuck us over 10 times over. At this point, I would much rather be fucked with a sandpaper dildo. But I'm not going to dive even further into that. As far as the other things she mentioned, she's, again, 100% right. Look no further than this coming from Robert F. Kennedy Jr. earlier today.
You say clearing out the corruption in your terms. Would that mean clearing out the top-level federal service workers that are currently at the FDA and the CDC?
In some categories, I would say.
What does that look like? Yeah.
In some categories of workers, there are entire departments, like the nutrition departments at FDA, that have to go. that are not doing their job. They're not protecting our kids. Why do we have Fruit Loops in this country that have 18 or 19 ingredients, and you go to Canada and it's got 2 or 3?
Would you eliminate any of the agencies?
To eliminate the agencies, as long as it requires congressional approval, I wouldn't be doing that. And I can get the corruption out of the agencies. This is what I've been doing for 40 years. I've sued all those agencies. I have a PhD in corporate corruption, and that's what I do. And once they're not corrupt, once Americans are getting good science and are allowed to make their own choices, they're going to get a lot healthier.
Okay, I don't know what's more annoying. The condescending way you're trying to say you're going to help people get help, even though, excuse me, I'm getting pissed. Even though you have gone on record saying you would get rid of several important agencies, look, I'm all for getting rid of unnecessary ingredients. That's coming from the manufacturers of our fucking food, you moron, not these agencies. Take it up with them. But you won't, because they want their fucking tax cuts. And in the end, that's all that fucking matters, isn't it? Now, this is the part I find incredibly annoying. Your voice. I can handle that. I could understand only half of what you were saying, motherfucker. Okay, so I do want to get into some of the reactions. Let's take a look at this first one.
You want to know the worst part about this election is that the people that voted for him, the women that voted for him, the minorities that voted for him, the queer people that voted for him, the transgendered people that voted for him, the poor people that voted for him. By the time that you people realize the decision that you made and the impact that it's had on your life, it is going to be irreversible. I am disgusted with how much we hate women in this country, with how much we still support fucking racism, xenophobia, fraud, rape. Like, I cannot comprehend what I am seeing. I've never been so disgusted in my fucking life, dude. Ever.
Honestly, that's a very normal reaction to fucking have. Not gonna lie. Now, this next one, trigger warning to anybody who wants to continue to love everyone and thy neighbor and all that. This person's done with that shit.
Fuck. To all you Latinos that voted for Trump, I hope he mass deports you and your entire family. Whether you were here legally or not, you gotta go. I hope he does that. To you black men who your fragile ego couldn't take a black woman in office, so you either voted for Trump or you didn't vote at all, the police will now have carte blanche to murder you right where the fuck you stand. And when they do that, there's not going to be no GoFundMes. Don't ask your family to ask us for shit. Just die. They can't afford to bury you. Dig a hole in their backyard. It is what the fuck it is. But don't expect sympathy. Don't expect protest in the streets. We're not doing that. Black women, we're done. We're done. We did our due diligence for this century and the next. We've done enough. We're not doing anymore. To you white women that once again voted against your fucking interests, when your husbands start knocking you into the middle of fucking next week and you can't do anything about it because no fault divorce is in play, I want you to take those black eyes and those busted lips as a personal thank you from Donald J. Trump each and every time you get fucking hit. Take it. Don't look for nobody else. Don't ask for fucking help. Take your beatings. For all of y'all that voted for Trump, I hope you get exactly what you voted for. Because the only thing he did was make America great for the people that it was great for from the fucking beginning. White men. That's what he did. He couldn't run the risk of whiteness no longer being the default. Not being allowed to fail up. So when you're bleeding out somewhere and there's a medical emergency and you can't get no fucking help, women who voted for him, don't take it. You just gotta die. If you got kids, they just gonna be motherless. It is what the fuck it is. You didn't give a fuck, so we don't give a fuck. That's how it is. This isn't America anymore. I don't know what the fuck it is, but it's not gonna be America. And if you think that Trump is gonna be in that office for 4 years, you're fucking insane. Because we about to be in a real live action episode of fucking Scandal. Because your next president is not Donald Trump, it's JD Vance. Because trust and believe, within a year, you're not gonna see Trump anymore.
Holy fucking shit. Alright, that was a lot to unpack there. So, she does have a point about possibly JD Vance being the next president because of Trump's cognitive decline, and obviously they've lied about his physical health. So that's a real possibility we need to take into account here. And as far as the nationwide abortion ban that we all know is coming, every single person who says, oh, that can't happen, you're going to pretty much be saying this when you're denied access.
What just happened? Fuck.
Fuck is right. I mean, not all women are stupid enough to believe that Trump is telling the truth when he said he wouldn't enact an abortion ban, right?
And I like that he didn't actually plan to ban abortion. He just brought it back to the States.
Bitch, are you really this fucking stupid for fucking real? What the fuck is the matter with you for believing that fucking bullshit?
What in the name of sweet Jiminy Christ do you think you're doing?
Oh my god. The stupidity, it hurts.
Fuck.
They've mentioned a nationwide abortion ban in Project 2020 fucking 5, bitch. Jesus Christ, read it or let Joy Reid explain it to you. Come on. Oh my god, the stupidity. I've never been so embarrassed to be an American. Let's go to our next reaction, shall we?
Since y'all wanted this fucking fascist back so bad, I'm just letting y'all know right now, I ain't supporting no movement. When him and Netanyahu turn Palestine to glass and give y'all a broom to sweep it up, hey, call Jill Stein, call Cornel West. When reproductive rights start getting fucked up all throughout the country and it starts affecting your families, call Trump, call your local senator, call them, because I don't want to hear that shit. When the police start becoming militarized and cop cities start popping up everywhere and you start having issues with the police that turn more violent where they can beat you and put you in jail and get to act with impunity, hey, take that up with your local senator. It's got nothing to do with us. Because at the end of the day, we have become exhausted with the fact that a crybaby, Nepo baby, and the elite can finesse you all into believing that they are good for this country. How a person who has never worked a day in his life convinced half the country, more than half the country, that he was good after opposing an insurrection, being convicted of 34 different crimes, after having a hush money trial, cheating on his wife perpetually, abusing, your belief in God, to finesse you into following him. I don't want to hear that shit no more. I don't want to hear it. And I know for damn sure one thing. I don't want to hear no bitching when the country starts going downhill economically. I don't want to hear no bitching when he deregulates everything and the quality of stuff goes down. I don't want to hear no bitching from none of you motherfucking Trump glazers at all. That, oh, he inherited Biden's issues. No, I don't want to hear none of that shit. I don't want to hear none of it. Because this shit is absolute nasty work. This is fucking nasty work. Like, I cannot believe that we have to deal with this motherfucker for another 4 years, bro. We got to deal with these Bible-thumping goofies for another fucking 4 years. It's crazy. And they have more power now. A stacked Supreme Court, the House and the Senate, possibly. Like, bro.
And to be completely honest, he is right there. Not to mention these Bible thumpers, they plan on instituting a national religion. So, a little note to Ben Shapiro, you might want to take off the goddamn yarmulke, you stupid fuck. You're not going to be considered Jewish anymore. You're going to be forced to become an evangelical nut job. So, let's cut over to this little graphic, shall we? Project 2025 is essentially going to fuck everyone except for the richest 1% and force them into a religion they don't need to be in. And trust me, they're not going to be sanding that. Now, as far as the economic policies are concerned, he's 100% right. Every single economist who reviewed Kamala Harris's economic plan and Trump's economic plan said Trump would lead us into a recession or even worse, a depression. So get ready to party like it's 1929. All right, last reaction before I dive into a few other little things.
5 million motherfucking votes over in a popular vote for motherfucking fascists and racists? Are you kidding me? Say what the fuck it is. You bitches. She shouldn't have had to do nothing. She shouldn't have to have no motherfucking campaign. Are you kidding me, bitch? I don't give a fuck. She didn't have no typical, palatable Republican opponent. I don't give a fuck if she never had no plans. I don't give a fuck if she got up there and cussed everybody out every day. Her opponent didn't have shit going on for nobody, and that's the motherfucker y'all voted for. And I got a motherfucking problem with that.
Okay, so there's one thing I do disagree with him on in that clip. What Kamala Harris should have done, in all seriousness, and this is the one flaw of her campaign that I can honestly think of. She didn't go on any online media sources. Hell, Trump went on the show of that fucking nitwit Aiden Ross. Just an idea. But, you know, legacy media outlets get top priority because they need the ratings. And they're going to get a bunch if they don't have their broadcast licenses yanked. So, nice job, mainstream media. You failed us big time with your efforts in sane washing and hunger for cash. Now, you do remember when people on the MAGA right were trying to distance themselves from Project 2025? Well, psych! They were planning it the whole time. So, we're going to put up a couple things real quick. Matt Wall saying, now that the election is over, I think we can finally say that, yeah, actually Project 2025 is the agenda, LOL. I'll let Dolomar tear into him. Nick Fuentes saying, your body, my choice, forever, because he's a fucking scumbag. And then Benny Johnson, the Russian asset, decided to say, it is my honor to inform you all that Project 2025 was real the whole time. So, to every single independent voter or undecided voter who decided to cast their vote to Trump, thanks for fucking us all. From those of us who voted against this guy, straight to you. Now, here's the thing. What are we going to do? Where do we go from here? Well, honestly, the one thing that comes to mind is peaceful protest. Or, as the late John Lewis called it, good trouble. We're not going to do what MAGA did and try to violently overthrow the government. We're not going to do that. That's inhumane, wrong, and honestly, that would completely undermine everything we have tried to work so hard for. So peaceful protest is the way to go, whether it's doing stuff like this or anything else you can think of. We're just going to have to fight a lot harder than we should have. Excuse me. Let me know what you think. Leave a comment down below, like and subscribe. And what I'm probably going to do is maybe start pre-recording a live stream and then going in and editing and formatting all that for a weekly deal. It's what I got to do. Take care of yourselves, and if you need to unplug, unplug. If you need to cry, eat ice cream, and cry some more in the fetal position while rewatching One Life to Live, have at it. Unplug from media if you have to. Read a book. Read a fucking book. Seriously, I'm in the middle of reading Fairy Tale by Stephen King, and it's a good read. So, do what you need to. Take care of yourselves. We're going to need it because starting January 20th, 2025, we're in for the fight of our lives. And if we lose this fight, we are so fucked. And for those of you who do not want us to fight, I leave you with this.
Fuck you! I'm trying to help you, motherfucker!
Now, before this video ends, I leave you guys with something that I thought was pretty funny. Here it is.
And now, Fox Sports 1 demonstrates why you need to be careful when planning camera angles during a live college football game.
Well, Texas Tech has shown a little bit of everything